Well, hello there, all you movie lovers out there. This is part 4 of my 25-part series called 25 Groovy Flicks, in which I review a movie in a completely biased way. These are films that I can put on anytime, day or night, and watch from beginning to end. Boredom isn't an issue when it comes to these movies. And groovy probably isn't the right word for what I'm doing, but hey, whatever. What film am I going to talk about today? Where did I put that? Oh wait, here it is. Number 4 on my list, the 1972 classic Aguirre, The Wrath of God. Well, hello there, Old Man Callie here, Jeff to my friends, and you can call me Jeff. Aguirre, The Wrath of God was a film written and directed by the legendary Werner Herzog. Now, I debated whether to do this or Fitzcarraldo. I could have gone either way, but I think I like this one just a little bit more. It's loosely based on the Spanish soldier Lope de Aguirre, and I'll apologize to the world right now for many of my pronunciations you'll be hearing during this video. Aguirre was a real man born in 1510 and was a conquistador in South America. His nickname was El Loco, the Madman. He was best known for his final expedition down the Amazon River, searching for the golden city of El Dorado. Now, the story goes that Herzog became aware of Lope de Aguirre from a historical adventure and discovery book. The book he was reading at a friend's house had just about a half page on the soldier, but what Herzog read excited him so much, he ran home and began to write. Now, the half page he read was his only real research, so the plot and characters are pretty much fictional. In Herzog's defense, very little was known about the real man, so there. He wrote the screenplay in just a couple of days, in which he described as writing furiously. Much of it was written on a bus trip with his football team. In fact, he often tells the story of that one of the football players who was drunk vomited on some of the pages, so he just crumpled them up, threw them out the window, and didn't worry about it. The film stars Klaus Kinski, who Herzog said was his only choice to play the lead role. Now, in my opinion, Kinski was a marvelous actor, but he was a horrible human being. Just my opinion, so whatever. Like I said, it's the story of Lope de Aguirre, who was part of a Spanish expedition in South America looking to find El Dorado, the lost city of gold. Aguirre starts out as just another soldier, but slowly and ruthlessly takes over the group as they travel by raft down the Amazon River. Look, I'm probably doing a poor job of explaining it, so why don't we watch the trailer?
Am Weihnachtstag des Jahres 1560 erreichten wir die letzte Passhöhe des Andengebirges und sahen zum ersten Mal in den gelobten Urwald hinab.
Den Fluss kommt niemand lebend hinunter.
Und ich sag dir, es geht doch. Von jetzt an geht es bergauf.
Jetzt geht es bergab.
So kann es nicht mehr weitergehen, Männer. Das Gelände hier ist so schwierig, dass wir einfach nicht mehr weiterkommen.
Hier sind überall Indianer. Aguirre wagt nicht, sich jemals gegen die spanische Krone zu erheben.
Wir sind hier nicht in Kastilien.
Und ich sage, wir können unsere Aufgabe so nicht erfüllen.
Und ich sage, wir erobern jetzt auf eigene Faust.
Sei ruhig, Aguirre!
Ja. Ist noch jemand da?
Er macht so weiter, wie er angefangen hat. Du bist meine letzte Hoffnung.
Du weißt, mein Kind, für das Wohl unseres Herrn war die Kirche immer auf der Seite der Starken.
Werden wir über diesen ganzen Kontinent herrschen. Wir halten durch. Ich bin der Zorn Gottes.
Did that help? And I'm sorry about the subtitles. The film is in German, and I know subtitles sometimes scare people away. Now, on the DVD that I own, you can watch it in English as well, and while I usually prefer to watch the film in its native language with subtitles, in this case I didn't mind watching it in English. I don't think it really matters here. Now, I'm the type of person who doesn't separate the making of the film from the film itself. To me, they work together for my enjoyment. It's probably not the right way to think, but hey, it's what I do. For me, I loved the film already before I learned about its production, but once I began learning how it was made, I loved it even more. In fact, I enjoy watching the film with Herzog's commentary almost as much as I enjoy watching the film by itself. Herzog, with one stolen camera, a small crew, a very tiny budget, and a very large cast, went into the Peruvian rainforest by Machu Picchu and spent 5 weeks making this film with no modern comforts and such. All the while dealing with an insane Klaus Kinski. By the way, Kinski was paid about 1/3 of the $370,000 budget. Now, as much as I would like, I don't have time to go into all the great stories about making this film. You should buy the DVD if you are interested. Now, it is true that Herzog pilfered the 35mm camera from a Munich film school. He used it for like the first 6 of his films. But he said of the taking of the camera, "So I do not consider it a theft. For me it was a true necessity. I wanted to make a film and needed a camera. I had some sort of natural right to this tool. If you need air to breathe and you are locked in a room, you have to take a chisel and hammer to break the wall down. It's your absolute right." Do I agree with that? I don't know. But what I do know is that I resisted the temptation to read that with a fake Herzog German accent, so hey, you can thank me later. Of the cast, I don't know much about them except for Kinski. Oh, there's this guy, Miguel Angel Fuentes. Now, if you're a fan of Mystery Science Theater 3000, you might know him from Puma Man. He was also in a 1978 film called The Bermuda Triangle that was riffed on riff tracks. For more information on the cast, well, buy the DVD and listen to Herzog's commentary. Kinski is great in the role, as he usually is, but like I can't separate a film from how it was made, I also find it hard to separate the actor from the person. And in my opinion, Kinski was a monster. There's a story that Herzog often tells that Kinski shot a Winchester rifle into a tent occupied by the cast and crew who were playing cards because he was annoyed by the noise. Allegedly, he shot the finger off one of the extras. Anyway, again, there are so many good stories about the making of this film. I could go on, but I will resist. It gets a 91% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is really good. Charles H. gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and he said, "I was completely spellbound by Aguirre, The Wrath of God. Aguirre is a stunning film, so a haunting and powerful film to watch. Slow-paced and intense. The Amazon settings and the music are dauntingly absorbing. Herzog's masterpiece is nothing short of a classic and will continue to inspire other suspense-craving directors and audiences forever." In fact, most of the reviews were 4 or 5 stars, but of course, as we've learned through this whole thing, not everyone agrees. David M. gave it 1.5 stars out of 5, and he wrote, "I think this is one of those movies that critics say they love, then other people say how good it is, and then you watch it and say, what? Honestly, I just thought it was a bunch of randomly shot scenes thrown together to make a loosely coherent story." I disagree with Dan here. I think there's a very real and solid and deep story, but whatever. A lot of the bad reviews that I read seems to be people claiming that critics say it's good, so the public has to say it's good, like us that enjoy this movie don't have minds of our own. And while you're entitled to your opinion, I'm also entitled to mine, and in my opinion, you're wrong. I said it, and I won't apologize. Now, the thing you must know about this film, I don't think it's meant to be taken literally. It's like a hallucinatory dream or a nightmare, especially when we get to the end. One of the prime examples of this is one of my favorite scenes, and this might be a spoiler, so you've been warned. Anessa de Atiza, after her husband had been executed, he had been hung because he was a threat to Aguirre. Well, she walks into the jungle, and as she walks, suddenly she's wearing this beautiful new dress. She goes into the cannibal-infested jungle and just sort of disappears. Now, while watching this film, you might notice a lot of resemblance to Francis Ford Coppola's 1979 film Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now was based loosely on Joseph Conrad's 1902 novel Heart of Darkness. Coppola said of this, "Aguirre, with its incredible imagery, was a very strong influence. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it." And the music was so odd. It was performed by Popo Va. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. I can't find the words to describe it, so I'll quote the late great Roger Ebert, who wrote, "The music sets the tone. It's haunting, ecclesiastical, human, yet something else." So the bottom line is, if you want to be cool like me, you will watch and appreciate Aguirre, The Wrath of God. And if you don't, that's fine too. You don't have to like what Old Man Kelly likes. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I'm right. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back someday with the 5th film of my 25 Groovy Flicks. Bye-bye.